Aussies are abandoning cities. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because we're going to have a talk about Australians abandoning cities. This seems to be a recurring topic in the media. I don't know if they're surprised or just shocked the fact that people may want to get out of the congested cities. Maybe the fact that they've had to suffer through lockdown after lockdown, all of these mandates and restrictions. Or people have realized that they can work from home now, so why would I pay for insane rates and rents to be in the city when I could have a green or a sea change? Now, before we go through that, let's just have a look at the sponsor for today's video, which is HeiseSays, our Twitch show. Tonight, 7:30, we've got Freedom Friday. We also have another show on Monday nights with Rachel and I. Join me tonight to have a discussion about some of the polls I've asked this week and, various other topics. See you there. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's have a look at the current asking prices for property to get a bit of an appreciation of what's going on. I'll just bring up some, here we go, I'll bring up the right chart here. This is the SQM. This is looking at their weekly asking prices for all capital cities. Now we can see here, I'll just bring this up, we're sitting over $1 million, guys. Not surprising. It's climbed up, it's climbed up from just a touch at $1 million, a little bit more. Apartments are relatively flat compared to housing, so housing is definitely more popular. Now, if we have a look here, this is national. Now, this is taking account of the regions and the capital cities. And we can see also there is a growth in property going up here. There you go, houses as well. Even apartments a little bit, but mainly in the houses, everyone. Now, if we dig into a little bit greater detail, we can see here in Sydney. Sydney, there you go. Look, all houses. Boom, look at that climb. What is it, 1.4 to 1.6, everyone. 3-bedders. They've climbed and they're starting to take off a little bit or go down a little bit from the top. Apartments are relatively flat. There you go. But, that's a noticeable change, a noticeable delta change. Delta change, it's a double. Anyway, you know what I mean. We have a look at Melbourne. Melbourne, relatively flat there, but still climbing. Still climbing. Apartments, not much happening. Pretty flat. Particularly when you look at how many apartments are available for rent and the asking rents in Melbourne, it's not too surprising. Here, Brisbane, we can see, there you go. We're kicking goals, guys. We're heading straight up. Houses, 3-bedders, all homes going up. Apartments are even climbing a tiny bit, not that much. Not as dramatic when you compare it to houses. But let's have a look at the regions. And I'm going to draw attention to one in regional New South Wales. And this is in Murwillumbah, in the Tweed Shire, just south of the border with Queensland. It's a lovely area where you go for a green change. You could drive to the beach. It wouldn't, a couple of hours. But still, it's beautiful out there. I love going down there. And you're not too far from Brisbane or the Gold Coast. You're still close to a lot of amenities. So I can see people wanting to make a green change and having a look there. Now, look at this. Look at that change there in property, guys. What are we looking at? Around 600 range in September 2020. Look at it now. 900. Now we'll compare that. I'll jump back up here. We'll compare that change to Sydney. Okay, not as dramatic. There's Melbourne. Brisbane, okay, and Murwillumbah. There you go. That is showing you an example of the impact of this change, guys. This is huge. And you're getting the local councils now, they're crying poor because they've got issues with dealing with this property price growth. This is gentrification. This is people from the city with money moving to the regions. And it's going to exacerbate those that can afford homes and compared to those that can't. And what's the solution? Well, we'll talk about a few suggestions. But sadly, some people are they're going to be priced out of the area where they grew up, and it's kind of sad. So let's have a look at, Australians abandoning cities. This article from news.com.au. Record numbers of Aussies are moving from capitals to small towns, according to a report. A change is as good as a holiday, but some Aussies are craving new pastures for good, and this is where they're going. So record numbers of Aussies are shunning the larger capital cities for smaller towns, and it's families and millennials driving the move, according to a new report. Remember, we looked at an article about a couple that sold out from Melbourne and went down to rural Tasmania, and they were amazed at just the sense of community and the size of land they got, and they seemed quite happy for two young boys. Fed up with traffic jams, stress, and high cost of living, capital city residents are packing their bags for the regions, says removalist search engine Movall. The Movall Index 2021 looks at how Australian adults are moving around the nation compared to previous years. It says regional Australia continues to boom as record numbers of Aussies move from capital cities to smaller towns and communities where there are more jobs available than previously. Okay, this is interesting. So there's job opportunities for these Aussies going out there. And it's young people and millennials who are making the move, often helped by work-from-home rules that would traditionally have been based in cities. Now, you've got to understand, everyone, millennials are not all snot-nosed 20-year-olds. I am technically a millennial. You know, I'm a geriatric millennial, and I'll wear that badge with pride, but I'm a millennial. So we're all old. You know, I've got an 8-year-old kid. The data is backed up by ABS figures in the quarter ending December, showing capital cities suffered a net loss of 10,600 people compared to pre-pandemic 2019, when just 3,800 city folk moved to regional Australia. The Movall report found recent lockdowns in Melbourne and Sydney led to spikes in searches by residents looking to move. There has also been a continued departure of residents from Sydney in search of better house prices and lifestyles elsewhere. A net 31,600 Sydney-siders farewelled the harbour city for other parts of the country in 2020, according to the ABS internal migration statistics. And, well, we're seeing that manifest, guys. It's manifesting in this here. Okay, we're not going to see a decline in Sydney prices from this, but they're having an impact on the regions. Think about it. If you're coming from Sydney and you're used to seeing this for asking price, you know, over $1 million, and you go to, you know, Wollumbar or the Tweed Shire and you're seeing property that's so much more affordable, you're going to be anchored at a higher price level. So they're going to up the prices. And I don't blame people who are local and want to sell and make some money out of it. Take advantage of it while you can. A Regional Australia Institute survey in December of 1,000 capital city adults also found 1 in 5 is considering moving to the regions. Most said they'd make the leap in the next year. Traffic congestion, 70%, reducing stress and anxiety, 69%, and reducing the cost of living at 68% were the top reasons people were seeking the change. Searches for people moving to Adelaide also continued to stay higher than people moving out, delivering the City of Churches an average 29% positive net migration for the year to June 30. Brisbane ended the financial year with the highest level of growth in net migration, and we're seeing that there in our house price growth as well here in Brisbane. I mean, if you're going to be moving, well, the one advantage we have here in Brisbane is the weather is pretty good. Most today is like a rainy bad day, but most of the time it's good. At least it's a lot better than what I grew up with in Melbourne and Victoria. Meanwhile, Melbourne managed to bounce back from its max exodus after last year's extended lockdown, and this article was prepared before we just had the lockdown once again. But recent snap lockdowns this year prompted a resurgence of people looking to move. Whilst international borders remain closed, the shape of the nation within Australia is changing at a pace we haven't seen before. Movall co-founder James Morrell said, "We were already a transient nation, really? Pre-March 2020, were we? I don't think that much as other parts of the world. There are a lot of Australians that wouldn't move. You know, now we're seeing people seriously consider moving for property. I mean, that's a good thing. Sure, there are going to be some people that are displaced and won't be able to afford to live or have the quality of life that they had because people from outside the community are coming in cashed up. But this is the situation that's going to happen, guys. Particularly now with more people working from home. We'll have to see if that actually turns into something, or if people are going to be forced to commute. Because I've heard stories of both happening, of people moving for the green change and then the whole work from home falling right over. Because it's highly dependent on your internet, everyone, for many people. Anyway, however, the pandemic has only enhanced this. The finding shines a light on how transient Australian adults are compared to years gone by, and there is no sign of this slowing. So it looks like we're seeing many of these Australians start to leave and move interstate, and it's manifesting, as I said, in these prices in these regional areas. Guys, I mean, just look at this one example here in Murwillumbah. There you go. I mean, that's just crazy, that growth. That's just nuts. So, everyone, thank you. What's the solution here, you know? Going to sound like a broken record to the regulars of the channel, but we need to look at our dependency as a nation on property. How can we get off that property dependence? How is it possible? I'd like to look at creating special economic regions where we could experiment with, you know, new ideas, test new concepts, or look at ways to reduce government intervention to make it cheaper to live. We'll have to see if there's even the will for that. What do you think, everyone? What are your suggestions to this? Do you think this could perhaps be a renaissance for some of these remote communities where now they, you know, if more people are moving there, there's going to be more demand for business, more activity, more money flowing through those communities as well, not just in the sale of the houses. Even if people are working remotely, they'll want to live in that community, and that will add more activity there, and that could be it would be a net positive for those communities. Maybe this is what we'll see. 2022 will be the year that Australians move to the country. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one, everyone. Thank you all for watching. Hang on. Thank you all for watching. If you're a fan of the channel and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can support us by signing up for YouTube or Patreon, joining us on SelfWealth or Stake, using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, buying our merch from HeiseSays, using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or supporting us by PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.